came to my mind when you're saying that is that even though both of the people said no, they were both positive three-way calls because of the lessons learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so when do I start?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to talk about three-way calls and how important they are, because this business is not meant to be done alone. It just isn't. You want to connect with somebody to be that third-party authority. So this week I had 2 three-way calls with one particular person, and actually one of them was a Skype three-way, so I had a visual, but they were three-way calls. And although both of them didn't have results that the people wanted to join our team, they were really, really positive because of the lessons learned in the calls. And these are the things we laugh at later, because I remember when I first started, some of the things I said, some of the people I talked to, and things like that. So the first one, I ended up on a three-way call thinking the lady had already seen the presentation, thought she had looked at everything, because there is the sequence to this. Before I want to get on a three-way call, I want to make sure somebody sees the presentation, because otherwise it's like trying to give a haircut over the phone. I'm not going to explain it when we have the tools to do that for us. And we have audio. They just got to push play if they don't know what to say, right? So the lady got on the phone and she said, oh, well, I want to talk to you because I hear you got creams and I want to look younger and you got stuff for my skin. And so I was immediately backpedaling because we don't have that. So I started talking about beauty starts on the inside and blah, 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 blah. So I did that. Anyway, I started moving her toward the business to see if she had an interest. And I did that because I said, do you keep your options open to making money? And she said, sure. So I left the call with the distributor. I said, go ahead and show her the presentation, go over it with her, and then follow up and see where she is. Well, he showed it to her, and then she went home and told her husband about it, I guess, because when he went to do the follow-up, she said, my husband said absolutely not. So the lesson in that is that you never want to do a presentation unless you have the decision maker present. Because otherwise she's got to go home and try and explain to her husband or tell him to push play, and then you lose, the belly-to-belly connection. So you just don't want to do that. So you want to use the decision makers. You want to have them both in the room when you do your presentation. So anyway, she said no. And then another lady had just lost 80-some pounds on a weight loss program. Well, not just, because she'd already gained all 80 and then some back. So she was interested in losing weight, wanted to know all about the product. She was asking me questions about the business, said she sold Tupperware. And I told her Tupperware is a great product, and asked her how she was doing with her business. But the challenge is with Tupperware that it's such a good product that once people buy it, they have it forever. I've used Tupperware for years. You buy it, it lasts for years and years and years. So she's always looking for new customers, and it was time constraining for her because she's got kids and, she just didn't have time. So I explained to her the value of having a consumable product, because our customers, right, our clients, they eat their inventory. Yeah. It's huge. So they got to reorder each month, which means you have residual income, I have residual income. That's what we're looking for. So anyway, she was all fired up, and I left that call with the distributor saying he was going to go over the program, show her the presentation in its entirety because she wanted to know about the comp plan, and then he'd follow up. So he was all excited. He showed it to her, and then he called me back and said, okay, she's in. She's going to join on the 31st, and she's coming in with an elite pack. Now, I was on that call with him, and it was a Skype call, so I was seeing her face, and there was nothing about her that told me she was in. Nothing. But he said she was in. So I said, okay, here's where you're going to know how in she is. Call her back. Tell her you want to position her now, because we're creating momentum. Tell her you want to get her positioned so that she's got a spot right there that would benefit her. And then on the 31st, she can upgrade to a bigger pack, so she can start at a lower one. So when he called her back to do that, she said actually she had changed her mind. She wasn't interested in the business at all, and that she was going to go back to the same weight loss program that she had done before, where she could eat 500 calories, where she lost her 80 pounds and gained it all back. And so the lesson in that one, and it was really interesting because he came up with this on his own. He said, Lynn, I've heard you say so many times, you look for somebody to raise their hand and say, pick me. He said, she never raised her hand. I wanted it for her because she needed it really bad, and I wanted to help her. And I said, this isn't about people who need it. It's about people who want it, because everybody needs it, or, I think most people need it. But it's about finding somebody who wants it and is all in and committed, not somebody that you're going to take care of, talk into, nurture, and feel like you're pushing up a rope because you want them to have it and it's your dream for them more than theirs. So although both of the calls were no's when it was over, they were both amazing learning experiences, because we just get better at this, and there's not a lack of people. They're everywhere. And so that's next, and let's just keep moving on. And I think people, when they're doing their three-ways or even their lists, they have a tendency to pick people to put on the list who they have influence over instead of people of influence, so they're not so rejected and they don't have to question themselves and their self-doubt and their worthiness. Like, why would I talk to that person? I'll talk to this person. Well, it's that person who you want to talk to, because that's the person that's going to partner with you. So anyway, every three-way call is an experience, good or bad. You'll laugh about it. It was really awesome, the results of both of these, even though we didn't sign anybody up. But, we're looking for 4 out of 50. So first 2 were no's, so we move on. It was just all good, and I wanted to share that with you.
That's great.